So hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, Book Time with Elvis, with me, Mark, and of course we are joined by the indomitable Randy Ray from the Literate Texan, and today
Hey,
our
everybody.
special guest is Booklist Pete. Hello Pete, how's it going?
Hello guys, great to be with you.
Good to have you. Good to have you. So we're quite international today because I'm here in the Czech Republic, Randy's somewhere in deepest, darkest Texas, and Pete, you are, for the folks at home,
in Albania, Durrës, Albania, which is a beach town about a half-hour drive from the capital of Tirana.
Cool. And what are you doing there? Just traveling or
booktubing? And,
booktubing?
Hanging out. I've lived here off and on for a couple of years, back and forth. And I've been in this particular location for about 9 months.
Cool. And so tell us also a little bit about your channel. What you do on it.
Okay. It's a BookTube channel, obviously. I think I started, I'm going to say about 2 years ago. No, maybe less, a little less than 2 years ago, inspired by Book Time with Elvis with you, Mark. It was a big influence on the starting of my channel when I saw your video about why you should start a BookTube channel. And I focus most on my current reading. I do a lot of the events, monthly events that come up like Sumerian September, what have you, Garb August. I mostly read now. When I started my channel, I thought I'd be doing more literary classic fiction, 19th, early 20th century fiction, because I was reading a lot of that, and it's sort of morphed into almost all genre fiction for the time being.
But you're open to anything really though, right? That could be on
anything there. Mostly fiction.
I
like to read more nonfiction, but there's so many authors that call to me.
Yeah, too much to read and not enough time, isn't it? So
for sure.
Yeah.
We're all reading against the clock, fellas.
Oh gosh. Yeah, exactly. I do get a lot of reading done these days. I think the channel helps with that too, because I've got to feed the machine,
Yeah, I mean, certainly I'm doing this shorty September, so that's really pushing my reading along. I'm now on 17 books in 17 days. So yeah. The only thing is though, I've got a hater, or I've got a troll or something, because someone yesterday decided to go through like my last 5 videos, not just the shorts, a couple others, and just dislike them. Now normally I can say there's like what do you call it? Maybe it's an accident. Someone did it. But, the fact that it happened like through consecutive videos, and then today, the one I put out yesterday, someone also put a dislike. So there is some sad person with no life who's just thinking, I'm going to just dislike his videos. I mean, maybe it's a valid reason, but, I think if you dislike someone, you just wouldn't watch their videos anyway, would you? So a bit weird.
I would think.
Bit weird.
The joke is on them. Because,
it's true.
Dislikes account. It makes
no
difference.
All publicity, no, what is it? There's no such thing as bad publicity. So even if they react and interact with my channel by a dislike, it's still beneficial. So yeah,
exactly. And I have the dislikes hidden on as a viewer, I have the option where I don't see how many people disliked a video because I don't really care. And so when I'll go through in my own studio though, and I'll see some dislikes on, I will think the same thing. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, I was thinking. I was like, what? I mean, unless it's personal, I was like, what's the dislike about that video? It was pretty harmless. But I reckon it was Randy. It was Randy just trying to get. It was Randy probably just trying to get some over on me.
Probably.
Well, I was hoping to generate content for the live stream.
It worked.
I knew if I did that, you'd have something to talk about.
Well, it is something because, as people say, it is still some form of interaction and still something that draws attention to your channel. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. Indifference is worse. So
well, I don't think it affects you algorithmically either. A lot of people think that having a lot of people think mashing the like button is going to help you algorithmically, but that's not true.
Yeah.
It's more of a user end kind of thing. If I like a video from Booklist Pete, YouTube's going to show me more videos from Booklist Pete, but that doesn't mean they're going to show the rest of YouTube more Booklist Pete.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah.
I didn't know that if I like a video, it will show me more of that creator.
No.
Yeah, it'll tell
I
you more of that creator or more on that topic too.
Yeah.
I see.
Be careful if you start watching those Dr. Pimple Popper videos, because that'll overwhelm your feed really quick.
I can't. Fortunately, I'm very squeamish when it comes to that kind of stuff.
I love that stuff.
Oh, really?
Oh, I love it. Love it. Pulling out ingrowing hairs, popping pimples. Can't get enough. Yeah.
Oh,
Earwax.
Well,
Yeah, it's really amazing how many page views those get.
I'm sorry.
It's amazing how many page views those kinds of videos get. They're very popular.
Very popular. Just even hearing that there's such an account makes me squeamish. But
I was thinking of doing like what you call it, like a short response to this like barrage, right? And I wanted to do like a Liam Neeson thing, you know, I will find you and I'll kill you with the complete words of Shakespeare or whatever, you know. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I know who you are.
I will find you and I will teach you English.
Exactly.
That would be worth trying. It could be someone just jealous, you know.
Oh, I'm convinced it's Randy. He's not going to admit it yet, but you know.
I did admit it. I wanted you to have something to talk about.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, you did admit it. Yeah, that's all right then. Super.
Controversy.
Oh, speaking of admitting things, I got to tell you a story. So I've got a lady friend that I dated in 1995, and we've reconnected recently, strictly platonically. But, you know, if you've been watching my channel for any length of time, you know that I have health problems, and I have a wound on my foot that hasn't healed, so I don't leave the house. They don't want me walking on it. And I've got a gig coming up where I'm playing guitar and singing at a backyard barbecue. And I'm going to force myself to go to it, even if I have to use my walker. But she's invited me to lunch a few times, and I've turned her down because it's really difficult for me to get out. You know, well, apparently it hurt her feelings really bad, and she decided to sever our friendship. So I immediately admitted that I was wrong. Said I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. So what does she do? She refuses to accept my apology and continues to argue with me about it for about 48 hours. And I finally told her, I said, look, maybe we shouldn't be friends. Anyway, people say they like it when I have digressions. There's my digression today.
Well, we have some comments. We do have some comments, so we'll go through those. Aaron says, evening all. And then we have Project Arbiter. Nice to meet you, Pete. You are giving me Richard Dreyfuss vibes. I don't know why, but whether we're getting on a boat, shark hunting, or jumping aboard a spaceship, I'm on. Only meant in a good way. Only meant in a good way. Yeah, we're going to need a bigger channel.
I get the Richard Dreyfuss thing, man, in a very good way.
Does he say, is it Richard Dreyfuss who says that or somebody else? I can't remember. We're going to need a bigger boat. But or maybe
that I don't remember. It is from the movie, yeah.
No such thing as bad publicity. Didn't work out when I won that spelling bee and had diarrhea at the same time. Do you mean you had diarrhea or you had diarrhea that you had to spell?
Guess which part people will remember.
Bitter truth, 100 compliments are forgotten after one insult. Yeah, that's true. I do take it a little bit to heart, but everyone always just says, like, ignore them. They're obviously idiots. And I agree with that. They must be, of course. How could they not?
It's easy to ignore criticisms of other people.
Sorry, Pete?
It's easy to ignore criticisms when they're not directed at you. It's so easy to say just ignore them, but it is harder to do. I've had some very small criticisms over time that just I can't forget, and they're really silly things. That probably some of them might not even have been criticisms.
Yeah,
I had a commenter tell me one time that I needed to not sit so close to the camera. That all my videos was too close to the camera, and man, it hurt my feelings. And I thought, you sorry son of a bitch, how dare you leave this comment for me on this channel? But after I calmed down and looked at a couple of videos, I was like, oh, geez, he's right. I am right up on the camera. I really need to pull back. It turned out to be really valuable feedback.
Yeah, that's a good way to take it.
Yeah,
Sometimes
yeah.
people.
I was too close to the camera. You could see right up my nose,
Mm. Yeah, I mean, framing's one of my problems. One of the things that I'm always trying to figure out: am I too far away? Am I too, is my shirt messed up? Is some little thing in the corner back here? All that kind of stuff really bugs me, and most people don't worry that much about it when they're watching. I don't think.
How do you decide what's appropriate in terms of, how far away from the camera you're sitting and so forth? Well, I mean, what do you do in terms of what's your thought process? Do you
Well,
just
I
look
just
at your
try and not
videos
look
and say, I like
disgusting.
that? Or
Yeah, I try and not look disgusting. Depending on how I'm feeling today and how puffy my eyes are and
Do you
or
wear
keep the bar
whatever.
trousers?
low.
I kind of mess around with the lighting and everything. And since I live in Airbnbs mostly, it's a constant ongoing. I haven't really figured a perfect setup, and one of the reasons I stopped my channel for a while, so I just didn't like how things were looking on it, but I got over that.
And do you wear trousers, or do you follow the grand old BookTube tradition of not wearing any?
Um,
Or is that a
I'm a
secret?
traditionalist. I've got my shorts on.
Super.
Pair of
Good
shorts I could
stuff.
go outside in, but
I think it's the secret to success, to be honest. Wearing shorts
maybe.
and not trousers. Yeah.
I was a department store Santa Claus. It was one of my former careers. And at the time, I was very thin. I was a 2-pillow Santa. Now I wouldn't need to use a pillow at all to fit into the Santa outfit. But my pants fell down one time when I was walking as Santa Claus to the men's room. And at the time, jams were really popular. They were a type of short that were real bright and colorful. They were shorts, and everybody was laughing at Santa Claus's underwear as he walked to the bathroom. And I didn't realize what was going on for quite a little while, actually.
You have to be careful these days, though. Being around
Yes.
kids.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, it was a different time.
I think I like this format, definitely. I mean, if we put it just briefly in this one, it gives a completely different vibe. I mean, when we have it like that, it looks like, oh yeah, there's shit ton of books behind me. And then of course when I do it like that, you see there's just two sad little bookshelves. But you do get to see Elvis at least sleeping on the end of the bed there. But other than that, yeah. So, but you guys are both
very good boy.
Both on your phone, so it doesn't make a difference. Actually, I just noticed. Yeah. So
yeah,
Elvis is a very good boy.
About a week ago, I decided to start doing them on my phone because the camera is just so much better, and I feel better if the lighting's better, and I don't look all washed out, and so it doesn't look quite as much of a hostage video as if I do it on my Chromebook, and that makes me feel better.
It's got to be tough though, with all that kind of like moving around and stuff. To have to drag. I mean, so you don't have many physical books at all, I take it.
That's zero.
Yeah.
I got rid of everything, and I didn't want to put anything in storage because I didn't think I was going back to Washington State, where I'm from. And so I just have ebooks, and I did a video about that the other day. I revived an ebook tag that Mike had done a couple of years ago, and I really think that the sort of the feelings about ebooks have changed over even the time that I've been doing it. I think they're much more accepted now as real books. Audiobooks still not, I guess, in some people's mind, and I do listen to some audiobooks too.
And do you still work, Pete, or are you like retired and travel, or do you just get to do work while you're traveling?
I'm retired.
Oh, okay. Well, that's cool. Well, that's really nice to spend your time moving around like that and stuff. So, and is it something you just always wanted to do? Is kind of, spend time traveling?
Definitely, it was something I wanted to do. Was spend more time abroad, move abroad, and look for a place to retire permanently. A couple of years ago, it became possible. I was close enough that I could fill in the gap with savings until I'm not on Social Security yet, but I'm going to take it in a few years. I could fill in the gap. And if you can give up your apartment, if you can give up your home, sell your home, whatever, then it's pretty affordable. If you're trying to maintain a residence in the United States and travel all year, it's very expensive, but it's pretty cheap.
Quite a leap though, isn't it? To like, because you know you're on that property ladder kind of thing. You have a place, then when you give it up entirely, I mean, I'm guessing. I mean, I don't know. Obviously, I don't want you to talk about things if you don't want to. But I'm guessing, hopefully, you have family at least in America. If you do need to go back, you've got somewhere to stay, that kind of thing, rather than just like, oh, I'm gonna have to move into an Airbnb in Seattle or something. So.
Yeah, I have some family. I do come from a small family, and I'm a singleton, so there wasn't much to leave behind. But I have friends and family, and that if things come to it, I wouldn't be homeless.
Okay.
I would definitely need to work if I went back to the United States.
Right. Yeah. Much more expensive, isn't it? Okay. A few more comments. It was, where are we? Hi all, Christina, happy to be here. Been obsessively reading and watching BookTube to try to offset all the terrible news in the US and the world. And indie author Jill is here. Yeah, I got to catch a Wednesday live stream. Actually, Randy, indie author Jill is someone we've got to have on as well, by the way. I meant to have told you that while we're on there. Yeah. So she briefly joined me before. She's an indie author, also has a BookTube channel, and very very comfortable in front of the camera. She literally just jumped on one of my open mics like whilst cooking, so it was great fun. Nancy's here. Chief Brody. So it was, yeah, Roy Schneider. I think you said that, Pete. So Betty, oh my God, I'm 7 minutes behind and I have to go to see if I was the one who accidentally disliked all your videos because I did watch a bunch in a row. Surely not, Betsy. I don't think the fact that it was like 5 shorts and then 1 long form shows to me someone probably deliberately did. I can get it with the shorts, the thumb. With Randy's thumbs, he's probably got, big thumbs that get in the way, hitting dislike instead of like.
Huge thumbs.
Understandable. It
was mentioned in, a high school yearbook, biggest thumbs.
Was it?
Yes.
I think you guys are hitting on something very interesting about just doing it, because I sort of act like the only thing keeping me from 10 out of 10 on a gymnast beam is I haven't perfected my landing. I think that's right. You have to jump in, don't you? You just have to give it a go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's good
absolutely.
Analogy.
And it is funny because that is actually my most successful video of all time. That one with the starting a BookTube channel. So all the book ones.
Yeah.
But this one.
I think it's a lot of times it's subject matter. There's so many people looking on YouTube to try and find some way to get rich on YouTube, and we find our videos where we tell them you're not going to get rich.
Yes. It wasn't Betsy. Oh, that's good. Thanks. And Jim's here. Hey, y'all. I read more ebooks than physical books, but I guess, Jim, that's probably, again, because you're in quite an out of the way place, and I'd imagine it's probably quite pricey to get English books there. Jim's in Georgia, Georgia in Europe, not Georgia, US, in case anyone's wondering. Joseph's here, the real one, yeah. Hello, gentlemen, and Randy. And Project. I thought you were going to say your best video was of you in a gymnast beam. Yeah, that was the one I meant. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And just posted a new video today on a Christmas book, and I'm currently working on my Santa Princess book series. Oh yeah, that's right. West
timing.
Asia, apologies. You know what I mean. So, yeah. So you said just under 2 years you've been doing it. Any regrets?
No. Another thing I wanted to say before I forget, though, about just doing it is, if people are interested, if they haven't started yet, just remember, especially on BookTube, people don't really go back to your old videos. they're not going to roll through everything. You're not going to see, well, maybe the algorithms changed a bit, but you're not going to watch a TBR from 4 months ago that someone did, So if you do enough videos, you can bury the bad ones. I guess maybe that's my theory, because I do a lot of videos now.
I think there's a lot to be said
How
for
many
that.
videos do you do, Pete? What's your schedule like?
Well, I've decided I didn't do one today. I'm counting this as for today, but I did. I thought I was going to lose internet here for a week, so I did a whole bunch at once, and then I just like doing it, so I just kept doing them. And I thought, just for this month, September, I'm going to do one every day. But I thought 3 a week would be good, but I kind of like doing a lot of them. I like to keep the momentum going. I get scared when I don't do them for a while. It's like starting from zero again. And you never know what's going to catch. I'm so surprised sometimes. I'm surprised at the things that nobody cares about, and I'm surprised at the things that people do watch.
It is a lottery. It really is. You think you can gauge it by, thumbnail or title, and maybe some ways you can, but then, I thought I did a video I quite enjoyed making recently. I think it was the 9 fastest books ever written or something, and it's abysmal. I thought it'd be literally someone people would be interested in. I don't even know if it's even squeaked past the 100 view mark. It might just, but I thought, oh, that's a shame.
Well, I'll go watch it. I saw that come up, but I haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
Oh, don't worry. I almost never get any time at the moment. Now I'm back at school to watch actual videos, so yeah, it's quite hard, really. So, and how much does your traveling, Pete? How much does it inform your reading or affect your reading in terms of well, you said you don't read a lot of nonfiction, so you're not out there reading history books on Albania, I suppose. But I mean, are you reading Dairy or?
Books. When I got here, I read a couple of books by the famous novelist
Ismail Kadari, is it?
Yeah, Ismail Kadari. I read a couple of his books, and he actually passed away while I was here. Yes, and I actually went to his memorial in downtown Tirana, and it's probably a good thing to do to read more local culturally. I got to see at his funeral, at his memorial. You could just see how beloved he was by people in the country. And that was quite moving. And I was glad that I had a chance to read his books before that happened.
I read his Traitor's Niche, I think, is it? The one about this. I mean, and I've got, I think, the Dream Palace or something like Palace of Dreams. I've got both of them here. The Traitor's Niche was interesting. I quite enjoyed it, actually.
Yeah, that was fit for Shorty September if people are looking for one. Yeah. That's one of the 2 I read. The other one was about Stalinism. That was interesting. There's one that people like here, like that my Airbnb host has told me about, that they all read in school, and I can't think of the name of it right now, but it's a historical novel too about the heroic general who fought off the Turks. So I might read that one, although I can't remember the name of it right now.
Cool. So a few more comments. Where are we? Most Georgians think they live in Europe. Georgia is transcontinental. I was looking at my first 100 videos. Only a very few of them continue to get significant views now. I think that's probably true. I wonder if it hurts you having them left there or not. No, I don't think it would. I suppose it kind of dilutes your. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. Hamster. Ebooks are my choice because of cost, easy to read for aging eyes. By the way, was just watching Randy's video on reading The Three Musketeers. Excellent.
Thanks. I'm glad you liked it. I've got a really great video coming up today that I'm really excited about, and I don't want to steal anybody's thunder here, but I made my 250th video today.
Wow, congratulations. Well done.
And to celebrate, I have created the biggest TBR ever. 250 books.
Oh my God.
So I've mapped out what I'm going to read for the next 2 years. 250 videos. So I'm going to celebrate with a 250 book TBR, and I'll put that up. It took me an hour to go through all the books on the list. People like
That's
lists.
Well, I hope you wrote them in the description.
You know what? I will put them in the description. People like that.
That'll take you forever to write those out. Or, well, you're probably a very fast typer there, Randy, I imagine.
You know what? I actually, before I started losing my vision, I was a very fast typist. I typed about 90 words per minute.
Wow.
My typing is very slow now. My reading is slowed down dramatically too. But that's why I read ebooks now, is because reading a book on an actual piece of paper is almost impossible for me at this point.
You go by page count for your goals, right?
Well, you know, page count, number of books, you know, I don't take these goals very seriously. People like them. They're fun. Yeah. I like them too. But it's just a game to play as far as I'm concerned. And the thing about page count's just as inaccurate as number of books, because I realize this, I'm reading some Southern Gothic books because someone asked me to make a couple of starter kits about Southern Gothic literature. And The Heart is a Lonely Hunter by Carson McCullers is a long book. It's like 300, 350, 400 pages. But the ebook version that I bought was only 150 pages long. Well, it's not abridged or anything like that. They just set the page breaks very far apart. But there's no way I'm going to read that book in an afternoon for Shorty September. It's just too damn long. Yeah, so all of these, you know, it doesn't matter if you're doing page count. It doesn't matter if you're doing number of books, whatever. They're all really, really arbitrary, and you know, they're just fun numbers to put in a, you know, to put in a title of a video. People like a numeral in a video title. They'll get more click-throughs that way.
They do. I was going to say I got more interaction when I was doing a 100 book, read what you own, 100 books. People would, you know, were very supportive, especially as I got closer to the goal. So it is something that brings people back.
The bigger the number, the better an effect it has on your click-through ratio too. I've noticed that, and it's really hard to discount too what a difference a thumbnail makes. I've started doing weekly wrap-ups, and 2 or 3 weeks ago, I put up a weekly wrap-up with a thumbnail that I knew was weak. It was almost intentionally weak, and I put up another one the other day. I thought it was a really strong thumbnail. It's the one that says, you know, I read 564 pages last week. And in a day, the one with the good thumbnail got more traffic than the bad thumbnail got all week.
Mm.
You know, the bad thumbnail got like 100 page views in a week, but the good one got like 200 page views in a day. So, yeah, some of the stuff you do makes a big difference.
What would you consider bad about the thumbnail, that particular one, or any bad thumbnail?
You know, it was just kind of boring. It had my picture on the thumbnail, which, you know, is I don't think that's a good or bad thing. It's just that during speaking, if you've got a picture of yourself on there, the bigger the picture is, the better. The poor thumbnail had a really small picture of me. You know, so it's kind of like, so what? And it had just a solid white background, and the book covers
Carry on without me for a second. I do have to take this. I do apologize.
Oh, no worries. Me and Pete got this. Yeah, but it was boring. It just had a solid white background. There wasn't a lot of text on there. The text that was on there wasn't very interesting. But on the new one, you know, like it or not, I'm playing the game a little bit with the thumbnails to try to get higher click-through rates and do better. And it matters. It works.
I try and do my face real big in the thumbnail. I was a little embarrassed about it at first, but I think it's just the best way to identify who it is. Like, you don't have to be a supermodel or anything. It's like, oh, here's Randy's video. Let me watch that because I like Randy, or whoever it is, you know. And so I try and do that. It's funny that you mentioned that though, because I had these Shakespeare videos, Shakestember videos I did recently. And I just would move my little head onto one of the characters in a scene from a Shakespeare play. And maybe that's what killed him, you know, instead of just putting myself in the corner, but who knows? I thought people would think
It
that
could
was
be,
funny.
you know, I told my daughters that I was practicing my Photoshop skills not too long ago. And one of my daughters said, and by practicing your Photoshop skills, you do, of course, mean pasting your head onto some other character's body repeatedly. I was like, yeah.
Yeah,
If you look back far enough, I participated in the first Sumerian September with Michael K. Vaughan, and I pasted my face on top of Arnold Schwarzenegger holding a sword. And that's a pretty entertaining one because anybody who knows me knows I'm in horrible shape. You do not want to see me with my shirt off, and it's definitely not going to look anything like Arnold Schwarzenegger. But it's big fun experimenting with it and seeing what works.
Sure, yeah, definitely. And I'm definitely not going shirtless on any of my videos either, so I'm right with you on that one. But
Okay,
yeah,
shirtless Pete over here.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Sorry. I had my sister's here currently, and she's in another town getting the last bus back, and she wasn't sure of the destination, so I had to look it up quickly. And I mean, she knows this destination, but the bus is saying it's going to a different one, so you know. Super.
We did okay without you.
You don't need me anymore. Maybe this is the new show.
We did okay.
That's what we've got. Okay, I'm out. Bookless Pete and Randy, you know, hosting on my channel. That's fine. I'll take the revenue. It's all right.
Hello.
There was something I wanted to get to. Where is it? This one. I think the way for monetizing is to actually have a platform outside of YouTube. You need something somewhere else. Agreed. Like Patreon. And I have one, Project Arbiter. Feel free to check it out. What I mean,
I'm launching my Patreon soon.
You've been launching your Patreon for the best part of 6 months. It's going to be the best Patreon in the world, Randy.
You know, it's another example of where you just need to go ahead and do it and not wait for it to be perfect. But I swear I am going to launch that Patreon today or tomorrow.
All right.
The funny thing is, I registered the Patreon page, and I don't have anything up there. It's obviously under construction, but I picked up 2 subscribers immediately. You know, I've got money piling up there from a couple of subscribers here. You know, I guess just looking to support me. So I'm very grateful for both of them. But for all I know, hell, Mark, you might be one of them.
For all you know.
But Pete, you might be the other.
I deleted my Patreon, so no.
Okay.
I got rid of it because doesn't matter.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's up to you. Your business. We don't need to pry.
The overall social media thing. You know, trying to weed out the different accounts.
Well, I'm sure it adds up. You know, if you want to support lots of people, it also probably adds up quite a bit, to be honest, even if it's quite low. If you're handing out, you know, $3, $4 here, $4 there, you know, it kind of really adds up, I'm sure.
It does.
What I mean by that is I pay for Steve Donahue's Substack, but I wouldn't pay for more YouTube features with him. Well, I can understand that, I guess. Jim says top 10 are popular. I made a video of top 10 Victorian novels about 3 years ago. That is now close to 1,000 views. Recent videos average around 60 views. Well, I've noticed that, and I wonder, before we move on with other comments, have you noticed a general lack of viewing recently? I'm not, because I was speaking to a couple of other people about this, and I don't know whether it's because I've not been regular, but I find that it's almost going down, whether people are getting sick of me, or it's just a case of when you stop being as productive, you move down in the algorithm, of course, and therefore the views you're getting is actually just decreasing. And even subscribers, I find I can't jump over a certain number. It's like I get up there and then whoosh, I fall down again. I get up there again and fall down again. It's very, very frustrating.
I've been experiencing some of that lately. Pete, did you want to speak to this?
It's honestly like you two are just scheduled to speak at exactly the same moment.
Mirroring.
Pete, talk about it when you're done. I want to talk about this one too. So.
Oh, okay. I don't, because I don't even remember who the creator was, but some guy who's a YouTube metrics guru kind of guy did a video about this recently, how a lot of big channels are talking about how their views are count. And then he went back and he went year by year, and he says, you'll see these videos all the time in September, October, when people go back to school. People's YouTube viewing drops, and then everybody thinks it's a new phenomenon, but it's seasonal. This is theory.
Seasonal. I can believe that.
My views have been really
I hadn't even thought about that.
I think that's more of what it is. My views have been really up this week, but it's going from like 5 per video to 25 per video. It's not like, it's just might be a few more people have discovered me, but it's not like big numbers to begin with. So,
well, I should point out, because we do have 22 people watching, that they should head over to Booklist Pete's channel, called Booklist Pete, of course, and you should subscribe to him. Well worth your while doing so, I believe.
Absolutely.
Thank you. And before you get to your point, Randy, I'll just say I love people to subscribe, even if they don't want to watch.
There you go.
My videos can be very long, and if you just want to watch 5 minutes or you just want to watch one a week, I'm not going to get mad. I'm not going to hunt you down and say, I notice you really don't support my content, but I would love you to do whatever you want to do.
He will find you. Well, it's like Sean Stanfast, he has it when he's asking me, people support his channel and stuff. He's like, you don't actually have to watch it. Make a playlist of my videos, go to bed, leave it on all night. That'll do,
That's good.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you need a lot of people doing that really for it to make much of an impact, I would imagine. But hey ho.
Right. It's going up a little incrementally, so that's. I'm not trying to set the world on fire.
Randy, we'll come back to you because I know you want to talk about the lower viewership.
I have something else to talk about too.
Well, keep it in mind. Don't lose it. I just don't want to fall behind on the comments. So perhaps the full circle way, audience are more willing to pay to read your writing about things because it feels more exclusive. However, that requires one to start writing as well. 250 books is some TBR. I'll stick to monthly TBRs. I do have over 600 books on Goodreads. Want to read shelf. 250 books ? So it's all about gamification, the draw to videos. I mean, Helen's here. I'm late for a very important date. Hope you're all well. Titles and thumbnails are important. Mr. Beast and Big Tubers will change thumbnails if the first one doesn't get enough traction. Well, that's interesting. Maybe we'll come back to these comments because they might detract. There's a lot of them, but they might detract from what Randy's going to say. So we'll just leave it there and come back to Jim's point. So, Randy, what were you going to say?
Well, now I've almost forgotten everything I was going to say before, but, Mr. Beast will do things like split testing thumbnails. And I don't know how to go about split testing thumbnails, but you know what? If you want your click-through rate to go up and you don't mind looking like Mr. Beast, you can draw a lot of inspiration from his thumbnails. But I don't do my thumbnails exactly like he does either. We were talking about traffic seeming to go down lately. Mark, I've experienced the same thing. For the last 6-7 weeks, I seem to be gaining 1 or 2 subscribers a day and then losing 1 or 2 subscribers a day. I haven't had anything hit where I picked up like 9 or 10 subscribers off of a video. I haven't had anything like that. And the number of page views that I'm getting on average, they're lower than usual too. So, the idea that this might be seasonal is actually really good news because it hadn't occurred to me, but that's probably true. It probably is seasonal.
Does seem quieter in the summer. That's true.
Yeah, and as far as my 250 book TBR goes, those are my plans for the next 2 years. And 250 books sounds like a lot, but I do average a couple of books a week. You know, in 2 years, there's 100 weeks. There's 104 actually, but there's 100 weeks. At 2.5 books per week, there's my 250 books. So,
Yeah.
anyway, I just thought it'd be fun to have some bigger plans for my channel. Also, you know, it's good for me mentally. You know, I have cancer, so it's good for me mentally, I think, to have long-term goals to look forward to.
Yeah.
You know, I can't die. I've got 150, 175 books left on my TBR.
Just have to keep extending it, though, right?
Right. Yeah. So, you know, it'll be. I'm going to keep track of this one. This one's big enough. You know, it took me probably 3 or 4 hours to put together this TBR, but it's all stuff that I've been thinking about putting on a TBR anyway. For example, I'm determined to finish the works of Charles Dickens and the complete works of Shakespeare. You know, I've made some headway into both, more into Shakespeare than Dickens, and then also Steinbeck. So those are my 3 anchors for my TBR. You know, well, that's a good solid 70 something books right there. You know,
Sure.
there's 15 Charles Dickens books. There's 40 Shakespeare books. And let's see, what is that? 40, 55. There's at least 15 or 20 Steinbeck books on top of that.
Yeah.
But the volume of videos is another thing that's interesting. You know, Steve Donahue does everything different than everyone else. So he publishes 4 or 5 videos a day. And that's a lot. But I had an incident where I started publishing more, and I published 2 videos a day for a while. And my videos weren't performing very well. And Steve said, "You're probably making too many videos, man. You know, give people some time to watch your content. Let it breathe a little bit before moving on to that." But that's not what you do. Well, yeah, don't do things the way I do them. Steve intentionally does things to buck the trends, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So what have we got here? And as for monetizing, making money on the internet should be passive, I think. So if you set up videos that are not dated, the content I mean, and a subscription to that content in part 1, part 2 content can be purchased over and over without additional work from you, then you've created a stream of passive income. It would be nice, but it would, I mean, for most of us, I mean, as we said, I think, I can't remember if we said it in like the first video or whatever, but the fact that to even get an income, you have to get over 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 plus watch hours, which means you have to be in the top 9% of all people on YouTube, which is insane when you think about it, because we do know a lot of people who are over 1,000, but that's still a drop in the ocean, right? It's only 9% of people are over 1,000. So when you're struggling, think, oh, you know, there's a lot of people in this community or whatever are over 1,000. It's still nothing in terms of the wider YouTube sense. So it would be very hard to have that even as any passive income unless you did sell it through Substack or Patreon. And even then,
well, and you know, people talk about passive income. It's a great term. The truth is, there's nothing passive about it. If you want your channel to succeed, you've got to work on it, and you've got to keep working on it. And chances are, in this little corner of BookTube, if you want to make any kind of money that's noticeable in terms of your quality of life, you're going to have to work a lot harder at it than you would if you got a part-time job at Barnes and Noble, probably.
In most cases,
I think so anyway.
But I still don't see, sorry, Pete, I just want to say this because it's something we almost went from the beginning, is that, you know, Randy believes it's all down to hard work. I believe a huge part of it is luck, because I just cannot see how you can work at something that you really have no control over. You might improve your chances of getting lucky by putting in more work and maybe experiencing things, but I can't, you know, if you gave up your job or whatever and you dedicated, you know, 16 hours a day to your YouTube channel, it's still, someone could still come along and just get lucky with a video and find themselves absolutely, you know, rocketing past you. So, you know, is it hard work? Maybe hard work to maintain it, but to actually get
it's great that you brought that up, because I want to speak to the hard work idea behind things. I mentioned earlier about my performance on my weekly wrap up and how poor it was in one instance and how much better the other one did. Well, if I keep making really crappy thumbnails for my weekly wrap ups, they're going to keep getting bad results. But if I keep making better ones and keep improving, I'm going to start seeing better results, and it's going to be a snowball effect. If I'm seeing like a 5% increase in subscribers per month, well, 5% is 5%, but 10% is a lot better. And then you factor in what they call compound interest. 5% of 10,000 is a hell of a lot more than 5% of 1,000. 10% is way better, because you're going to double your number of subscribers much faster. The rule of 72 and all that. So yeah, it is a combination of things. There's no doubt about it. I look at somebody like, what's his name? Good looking guy, controversial recently.
Yeah. Book Time with Elvis.
Yeah. No. Younger Christopher Russell. Okay. You look at Christopher Russell, this guy just blazed onto the scene, and I've been working at this for 2 or 3 years, and obviously I haven't gotten really good at it yet, because Christopher Russell has more subscribers than I do, and the activity on his videos is huge, and he's not putting a lot of effort into those thumbnails either. Not in the way that I am. So yeah, some of it is just, it helps to be good looking. There's that Jack in the Book fellow, Jack Edwards.
Sorry, Pete.
I don't watch. If the person is good looking, I don't watch their channel.
Well, I don't know what that says. Thanks. Cheers.
That's why I don't watch you guys.
That's the way it is in country western music, right? If they're good looking, their music's probably terrible.
Yeah, present company exception. Yeah.
I'm looking up Christopher Russell now. I don't think I've ever watched his channel. I don't think I'm subscribed.
He's actually really good on screen.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, he's got a really great channel, and his content's really good.
Yeah, I see. I am subscribed to it. That's another thing. Sometimes I'll see something from somebody, and I'll go, why aren't I subscribed to this person? I see that I am subscribed. So the algorithm.
I hope you'll subscribe to me.
Sorry?
I hope you'll subscribe to me.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking about it.
I hope everyone will subscribe to me. Everyone who's watching,
subscribe to you, Randy.
I beg of you.
First people I subscribe to.
Subscribers.
The thing with, I do want to say, the thing with Christopher Russell, and no disrespect at all, is that there's probably 100 Christopher Russells out there, right? On YouTube, and there's nothing that maybe separates them.
Are there 100 Christopher Russells on YouTube?
I don't know, maybe 50. I don't know, but there's, he's not unique, of course, right? There's loads,
but he's exceptional in multiple ways.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure. I think there are probably others who are very wonderful too, who are not, who haven't had whatever it is that has given him that. And this is no disrespect. I do think he's, got a nice channel and everything. But it's like you look at people like in our area, I suppose, who kind of, hover between 1,000, whatever, or even less. There's some people out there who are really, really good, and yet they've got, I don't know, 300 subscribers, and I just cannot believe it at times. I'm thinking, this is surely it can't just be down to how good they look or, their thumbnails. Surely,
Well, it's a multiple thing. It's not just one thing. It's a mix of things. And Christopher Russell has a particular mix, Also, it depends on what books you're talking about, too. If you're talking about books that no one cares about, it's really hard to get an audience.
True. But then
I don't want to start talking about young adult books, though, because even though I know I could increase the traffic to my channel if I would change which books I focused on, but I'm not willing to do that.
Yeah, but if you talk about books that everybody's talking about, you're just crying in the wind because there's a billion of you out there talking about the same book. So you have to find you know, obviously some middle ground. I mean, there's no point, you know, there's no point having, you know, talking all the time about, I don't know, Moby Dick, for example, because there's going to be 10 million YouTube videos on Moby Dick. What's going to make yours different? But if you talk about, I don't know, Little Hands Clapping, for example, I can't remember the author, you know, there's probably going to be less than 10 videos on that on YouTube.
Right.
I go back and forth on that all the time because I'll make a Robert E. Howard video, and I'm like, why would we watch them when you've got 1,000 great Grammaticus and Michael K. Vaughan videos about this subject? And then I'll go back to doing one about something that I'm pretty sure no one's reading right now or have heard of, and no one will watch it. And so it is just a back and forth thing. I just kind of am interested in seeing for myself what people watch and what they don't. Not that I've figured out any patterns at all, but I've just decided I'm just going to talk about what I like to talk about, and eventually the people who like to hear me talk about it will watch my channel, because I think
it's a little bit
personality driven.
It's a little bit like that song. I'm sorry.
Oh,
it's a little bit like that song.
You guys.
Mark loves
All
it.
right, Pete, let me know when I can talk, buddy. I'll defer to you. You're the guest.
I forgot what I was going to say.
Okay, good. It's a little bit like the song Garden Party by Ricky Nelson. You can't please everyone, so eventually you just got to please yourself. And you don't want to sit around. I don't want to sit around repeating the tricks of the past. Otherwise, I would be hosting a YouTube channel about how to play poker professionally instead of about reading books. Been there, done that, you know.
There's also, I think, we forget when we are saying, like, you know, so and so is really good, so and so is great, so and so is exceptional. That's all. That can be very subjective as well, of course, right? So,
it is very
you
subjective.
know, you can recommend all you want, but not everyone's going to find, you know, Christopher Russell. Sorry to use him. You know, it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea. In the same way, Randy Ray, bless him, is not going to be everyone's cup of tea. But yeah, I don't know. But I've got to get through some comments because we are quite behind. So,
that's my fault too. Sorry.
No, don't worry. Don't worry.
Pete too. Me and Pete like to talk.
Yeah,
we would miss Mark. Where's Mark going? Sorry, Pete. No, speak. Sorry, I didn't. No, go. Speak.
No, I was just joking that we were manipulating the conversation, and now I'm interrupting again the comments to say how much I like to talk.
It's all right. We would miss Mark, but Mark is kind of confused as to where Mark is going. But maybe she's referring to the Pete and Randy show that was going to take over this over next week. So could be. Are you guys up on the latest YouTube ad blocker scandal? Huge channels are mentioning big drops, and it turns out anyone using ad blockers aren't being counted as views. Well, surely most people use ad blockers these days. So yeah, it's an interesting one. I think there's so much AI slop taking away our viewers. Could well be. That's true, I suppose. If you're competing against channels run and created by AI, that will make things weird. Yes, the lower in the algorithm when less publication. So just put up a quick minute check-in to maintain visibility. Well, you know, I've been doing that this month with the shorts, but it's pissed somebody off. I will find you. No, sorry. Also, people like regular faces, so they want to be able to see the same people in routine, like how people used to come home from work every day. That's true. I suppose now we're getting into the groove, Randy, where Wednesday at this time you will be able to turn on YouTube and see Mark and Randy and some wonderful guests like Pete there in the middle. So, you know, rose between two thorns.
And that's not luck. That's consistency. That's something we're doing right.
Seasons affect the data. My most viewed video is not about books, but about Matchbox and Hot Wheels cars. Over 7,000 views. The views always go up near Christmas.
Nice.
News broadcaster. Well, I'm lost now. Sorry, where are we? Home everywhere. Turn on their favorite news broadcaster. You could be someone's new Edward R. Murrow. Thank you for talking about your metrics, guys. This shouldn't be secret stuff. Discussing it openly demystifies it. Genuinely, thanks for sharing inside baseball. Helen says, we all need something to look forward to. I look forward to your Shorty September shorts, Mark. Thank you, Helen. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Randy, agree on always working on channel and passive is not passive, just that the passive is a building block that works for you while you're working on the new stuff. Mark, end of part 1. Mark, agree about the constraints YouTube places, but like you said, if you use Substack or other media. Christopher Russell is also incubated by Stephen Donahue, so that's what he has going for him. Well, you know, as Steve would say, that could be the kiss of life or the kiss of death. Depends, right? I have same number of subscribers as you, Mark, 2,440, whatever. Yeah, but I tell you, it annoys me. I can't get over that 50. So
Let's back up for just a second, too. I get as much attention from Steve Donahue on the air as Christopher Russell does, and I'm not seeing the same kind of numbers Christopher is.
I don't know.
Just saying. You know, that's part of where I'm getting my subscribers too. But yeah, it's not. That's not all of it.
Well, I don't know. It's a tough one because, you know, initially, I mean, people like us are not going to have any benefit from Steve Donahue shouting us out because he's done it. And if they would have joined us, they would have joined. You know, they would have joined us already. So, you know, don't know why I said Stephen and not Steve. I like Christopher Russell, by the way. I was just pointing out he's very close to Steve. So basically, the audience carries over. Yes, that's how Chris got his audience to start with. MJ is there. Hello there.
Hey, MJ.
MJ would be an interesting one to talk to about this. She does all that small BookTube stuff, doesn't she? So.
Oh yeah, she has a lot of knowledge. It'd be perfect for this live stream.
Randy, agree on type of books, but Christopher talks about obscure Russian history. The books I talk about that get the most views are Master and Margarita, Wuthering Heights, and Frida McFadden novels. I agree, Mark. I always love to hear that phrase. I agree, Mark, or Mark is right. That's one of the reasons I started doing reviews exclusively on self-published authors. No one is talking about these books, and they really should be because a lot of them are great. All of you should do a video with your faces replaced by Christopher Russell's and see if your guys' stats go up. I don't know. I think there's a lot of my channel character in this face, so I'm not going to change it, even if someone out there doesn't like it at the moment. And don't forget, I will find you.
Well, and I'm better looking than Christopher Russell, sadly, so I wouldn't change mine either.
I mean, you're interacting with him, Randy. Chris is literally staying over at his house days at a time and making collab videos every day. Well, I think you'd probably be there, Randy, if you could, wouldn't you?
If I could travel, sure. Yeah, I'm not able to travel right now, but yeah, you know, I think a lot of people, you know, at least for me, you know, Steve is a great shot in the arm. Yeah, I think the point is it's not just one thing for anybody. It's a combination of things, you know. Yeah, your secret sauce is different from mine, which is different from Bookless Pete's, which is different from Robin Songs Reads. You know, but having a unique identity and finding your audience is the trick. But yeah, it's not just one thing for anybody. You know, it's multiple things.
All I can say as a viewer is I go back to channels where it feels like there's a real person in there.
Yes.
As opposed to some where it's just really, just you got to have a personality.
No doubt you're a real person, and I am too.
Somebody called me a character the other day, and I was like, well, I always heard that having character and being a character aren't the same thing, but, you know, I guess I'll take it.
What else is going on in the comments, Mark?
I think we're almost at the end. I'll agree with that, but I would love for you and Steve to have a sleepover.
I would too. I think that'd be great.
Meanwhile, Book Chat with Pat is the real Don of BookTube. So that's probably.
She's great. I love her
Don
channel.
as in Mafia Don, I assume.
I think so. Yes, BookTube Slumber Party. I would watch that. And some people like authentic voices. So yeah,
Everybody likes authentic voices.
I would say so.
I think so. There's some big channels where it seems like the person's just projecting outward, and they're not thinking about conveying to the person directly. But
Yeah.
Mm.
And those channels can be interesting too. I'm a big fan of, and his name is Clifford Lee Sargent at Better Than Food, and his channel, he's pretty authentic, but, I don't see him in the comments the way Mark and I are in the comments or you're in the comments, but his channel's so much larger than ours. I think it would become unwieldy for him to have a conversation with everybody who left him a comment. His channel's really large, man. He's got 50 subscribers for every one I've got. So maybe more.
Yeah, then it becomes a different thing.
Yeah, it's almost like he's playing a different game entirely, isn't it? Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go, or you guys can keep talking.
We've reached the top of the hour.
Well, we have, and I've got an issue, so I either have to make a phone call or do something. I do apologize, Pete. You'll have to come back on with us. I don't know. See, we were joking today about whether or not this last bus would be cancelled or not, but it seems it's broken down. So I'm going to have to try and sort out what's going on with that. So,
oh no,
very, very angry sister. So I do apologize, everybody, and yeah, you can either carry on without me for a bit, or I'll just put up these comments quickly. If you're a character, Pete, then raise a collector's item. Hi guys, regarding subscribers, I think it's marketing. Anything the masses are more driven by good looks, hype, controversy, etc., and less by deep analysis of Dostoevsky. There's an awful lot of AI scripts. Our corner of BookTube is fundamentally uncommercial, the opposite of Jack Edwards. I prefer uncommercial. Good to see you all. Bye for now. Pete, you got a new subscriber here. Well, that's nice.
Oh, thank you.
And if you're a character, Pete, then Randy is a collector's item. So there we have it. Pete, thank you ever so much for joining us. Randy, thanks again for coming on. And we'll see you all again very soon. Do take care. And apologies for the abrupt ending, but sometimes things do get in the way. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
We made it an hour.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Very welcome, buddy. Very welcome.
I'll see you guys soon.